So our next speaker is Amir. Amir, I won't mispronounce your name.
I dare you try that.
Asghari?
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Mathematics is a continuous endeavour.
Okay, first of all, thank you. Actually, you didn't invite me. I submit my paper. So thank you for being here. Okay, let's see. Okay, to be honest, when I have submitted the abstract, my plan was take a concept and go through that concept through the history of mathematics. That was the original plan. And this is, I shall say, actually, this is talking to this many non-mathematicians basically is hard. So actually, I needed to think about that concept a lot. But then for something, actually recent things, I changed a bit the direction that I wanted to go. And soon you realize actually why I changed that. So this guy, so I tried to go with the name that I'm pretty sure you should heard of the name. So this guy is Pythagoras. That's the guy that actually we know Pythagoras theorem. That's actually any school children know that basically. So the guy is a Greek guy, as we know. So actually I need to move. Okay, so okay, as you can see, this is kind of old map. So here, how can I actually represent? Do I have a painter or pointer? Okay, just look at that. You can see the actually this part there, and that statue was okay. Thank you so much. And boop boop. Okay. Oh, that's good. This is the laser. That's okay. So that statue was in Italy, as you can see in Rome Museum, Italy. But actually, the main work of the guy was happening in Egypt. Here, actually in this area, he was in many different places. He educated there, he worked there. Sorry, is it working? Okay, he educated there, worked there, lived there, and actually go around those area, even in Persia. Actually, there are a lot of story. Actually, he educated in Persia. There are a lot of things, but the most thing that's certain is actually he did his education in Egypt. So that's just keep the idea. He was a Greek guy. Italy actually kind of has the statue or actually kind of appreciate him. But his education was in Egypt. So, and he also write actually in Greek, I believe, and they translated through Latin. So this guy is Omar Khayyam, not a mathematician. Many of you might. I'm hoping that you know him from his poems. And it's okay, but he was actually a mathematician, and he did something very important, basically, in the history of mathematics. I'm going to talk about that. So as you can see, this is the text that actually has written by him. This is the text in Arabic, if you know Arabic, because Arabic and Persian actually are very similar in terms of the letter that you use, but the way that actually we have 4 letters more, basically. So, but the science, actually, the language of the time was basically, the language of the time was Arabic. So everyone knows actually needed to write in Arabic. But the guy actually was in Persia at the time, in Iran now, basically. And this is actually where he lives now, basically, this beautiful building here. And this is actually very close to a city. Actually, if you know poem of Omar Khayyam, basically, Omar Khayyam, the poetic way is kind of non-religious. But the point is that actually this place actually is kind of, I don't know, about very close to one of the most religious cities in Iran, Mashhad, basically. So the guy actually lives somewhere that actually he can think freely. It's very close to another city that actually kind of was religious, more religious. So I come back to that thing. So he wrote in Arabic. And basically, many people, for that reason, say when they talk about history of mathematics, they talk about Arab mathematicians, but many of them actually weren't actually Arab. So, and this is why this is not working. Okay, this is Leiden University in Netherlands. Why this is important? Okay, but let's see what Khayyam did. Actually, Khayyam, remember that I start from Pythagoras geometry, and geometry was everything. And Khayyam actually was the first person actually tried to connect algebra and geometry together. That's the legacy of Khayyam basically. That's what, but he has only one a very very short book, and actually that book, the first version of that book, was found in this library. That's very very important, and that library is in the Netherlands. So, and within that book, actually, he tried to connect algebra and geometry. So there was another person in that library, actually working in that library. In Farsi, we call that Rene Descartes. I don't know what you say in English. Maybe I don't know. But you know Rene Descartes. He was actually he worked on that library, and this famous book actually were published when he was there. So and Rene Descartes actually was writing in Latin because it was the language of the time. And so to keep this thing together. And this guy that I'm pretty sure that you never heard the name of, basically he was a good friend of, actually I recently actually find that, he was a very, very good friend of Descartes. And he actually traveled to East or Middle East to kind of learn Arabic and actually bring a lot of Arabic books. That's the reason actually Leiden University is one of the best library in the world now. Had a lot of manuscript, Arabic manuscript, that they're actually very original one. This guy actually was the chair of maths and the chair of Arabic language by the end of his time. And he was a good friend of Descartes. And what Descartes did, okay, and how is actually related to Descartes? Look, and this is actually mathematician have actually, it's very interesting. I don't know actually any other science have this one, but it's very interesting. Mathematician actually have a website called Mathematic Genealogy Project. And so if you can type your name in mathematician and see actually, you know, the background on everything basically. And you can see you have Descartes here, and you see the name of that guy here, that was advisor of Descartes. So it's very, very important that actually Descartes somehow knew the Arabic text because that person. So, and what Descartes did for mathematics was actually connecting algebra and geometry to each other. So this is what we know basically. And actually, I'm pretty sure that you know Cartesian coordinate, that you have seen Cartesian. The name is basically Cartesian coordinate. And what could that coordinate do is actually kind of seeing geometry from algebra. And this is something that actually started with Khayyam. So the point is that my point is not actually kind of the limit Descartes, is that actually how this is actually continuous. They knew each other, these human beings, regardless of the language that they use to write their knowledge, regardless of where they live, they just actually kind of did the knowledge and kind of learn from each other. So this was basically the part. Actually, I want to go into the detail, into the concept, and then something happened recently. And because the recent event that actually happened in Iran, so suddenly I changed my mind and I saw, okay, and when I thought about this situation and this actually human being at the center of the thing that they do, regardless of the language, regardless of the place that they live. So I came to this picture, basically. This girl here, the third actually kind of is Maryam Mirzahani. I'm hoping that you have heard the name because she was the first person that actually kind of won Fields Medal in mathematics. Later on, actually, at this time, she is 16 or 17, going for Olympiad mathematics. Actually, she won 2 gold medals actually in 2 consecutive years. And Maryam basically, I guess this is 17, she's 16 and 17. She went into 2 different years. And she was, this is one minute, that's good. So this is the same person in Harvard, Stanford University, 4 years before actually she died out of cancer, because of cancer, sadly. And actually kind of 2 years before actually she won Fields Medal, actually is kind of Nobel in mathematics, as the first person, the first girl that actually did that. So if she was in Iran, basically, she could fight for her life now, basically. And or she was actually kicked out from university, because when he had he became professor in Stanford University, the paper that he had, he just was 2 or 3 papers. So according to Iranian university, she didn't tick even a lot of boxes. So they kicked it off care of for many reasons. So my point is, when we do science, science is about us. Regardless of the language that we do, we need to actually to express our, regardless of the color that we have, regardless of where we live. And most of us go somewhere to create some knowledge because it is kind of, we feel that place is our home. And it's very interesting. It happened. Even Descartes, actually, when I was preparing for this, he wrote something when in Leiden about the world and the human. But because he knew that basically he had the lesson actually of Galileo, what happened to Galileo. Actually, recently, it's very, very recently, they find the manuscript in 2022. It's very, very recent. He didn't dare basically to publish his work. So it's my thing that we choose a place because we feel that that place is our home. And actually, I'm going to finish with one line, actually connecting my talk to basically Martin as well. But when Martin say one sentence, I can.
Go ahead, one sentence.
One sentence or two?
One.
Okay. So I keep that sentence long. So when Martin said about international student, remember that international student don't choose here to be their home. When I was a student in England, I knew that I'm passenger. I knew that I'm here, study here, and go back home. But as a staff, I choose here to be my home. So whatever you said, apply to us. So, and actually in more difficult way. Thank you. Thank you so much.